The harder you try to play something well, the worse it sounds. This is not a paradox, it is physics. When you tense up your fretting hand, the tendons in your fingers lose their independence. They start moving together instead of separately, which means the finger you are not using is interfering with the one you are. When your strumming hand grips the pick too hard, the motion locks at the wrist, and you lose the fluid pendulum movement that makes strumming sound natural. When your shoulder rides up because you're concentrating, the tension travels down your whole arm, and everything gets slower and stiffer and more effortful than it needs to be. The players who look effortless are not more relaxed because they're more confident. They're more confident because they learned to play relaxed first, and the confidence came after. Relaxation is not the reward for getting good. It is the method for getting good. You do not earn it at the end, you have to build it in from the beginning, or you build tension in instead and then spend years trying to unlearn it. Before your next practice session, before you play a single note, drop your shoulders, shake out your hands, hold the pick or rest your fingers on the strings with the lightest possible contact that still produces a sound. Notice how little effort that actually requires. That is the baseline you are trying to maintain while playing. Everything above that baseline is interference. At some point in learning guitar, your hands start to know things your brain has not caught up to yet. You've practiced a transition enough times that your fingers can do it, but your conscious attention is still hovering over it like a nervous supervisor, second-guessing every decision. And that supervision is exactly what is causing the mistakes. This is called the automaticity problem. Skills become automatic through repetition, but the brain does not always trust that automaticity has arrived, so it keeps intervening. It sends conscious instructions to hands that no longer need them, and conscious instructions are slow. They interrupt the timing. They add latency between intention and execution that wasn't there when you stopped thinking and just played. The fix is counterintuitive. You have to practice trusting your hands. Not blindly, you still need deliberate, focused practice on things that aren't automatic yet, but the things that are automatic need to be left alone. When you are playing something you have practiced enough, let it go. Direct your attention to the music instead of the mechanics. Listen to the sound rather than monitoring the fingers making it. The moment you stop watching your hands is often the moment they start doing exactly what you practiced them to do. Your hands have been waiting for you to get out of the way. Watch a beginner guitarist and watch an advanced one playing the same thing. The beginner's fingers lift high off the fretboard between notes, big deliberate movements, each finger traveling a long arc from resting position to the string and back. It looks like effort because it is effort. Every unnecessary millimeter of movement costs time and energy and introduces another opportunity for the note to not land cleanly. The advanced player's fingers barely leave the strings. They hover. They move the minimum distance required to do the job and nothing more. It looks effortless because it's using less effort, not because of talent, because at some point they noticed that the big movements were slowing them down and they trained themselves out of them. This is called economy of motion, and it is one of the most under-leveraged concepts in beginner guitar practice. The goal is not to move fast, the goal is to move less. When your fingers never travel far from the strings, the speed takes care of itself because the distance each finger has to cover is so small that even slow, deliberate movement gets you there quickly. Practice watching your fretting hand, not to admire it, to police it. Every time a finger lifts more than a centimeter off the fretboard unnecessarily, that's the habit you are training out. It will feel unnatural at first because the big movements feel more controlled. They're not more controlled, they're just more visible. Quiet, small movements with clean results are what control actually looks like.